All right. Welcome back. We are here with Mr. Eric Hamilton, and he is the author of the book, The Sales Blueprint, What Winners Do Differently. So we're going to learn a lot more about what winners do differently. So it's good to have you here today, sir.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, we are happy to have you. So, Lynn, go ahead. You start us off.
Eric, tell us, how did you find yourself here in Texas? Were you born here, or did you get here as fast as you could?
You know, I heard that even if you're not born here, you can't wait to become a Texan.
There you go.
So, I'm originally from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Two reasons why I left and moved here. One is the weather. Number two is the economy.
Okay.
If you've ever been to Michigan in the winter, it's really cold.
All right.
So I can deal with that. So that brought us down to Texas.
So how did you feel about this past August?
So this was extremely hot for me, I must say. It was really, really hot, but we adapted to it. I've been here 8 years.
Awesome.
So now we're a little more comfortable with this. With this hot weather.
But Lynn, it was not that hot.
It wasn't really.
Oh, it was hot.
So
No, it was hot.
well, you know, for a guy from Michigan, okay. It was,
Sure.
So let's talk about it. So sales, things of that nature, it's a gift.
Yes.
Talk to us a bit about that gift, and how did you know, when did you know that you had that gift of sales?
You know, the way I look at sales is it's really just the ability to communicate.
Okay.
So you're communicating with someone, and typically, you know, everyone is in sales. You're representing yourself everywhere you go. Like the first impression that you make upon a person, that's a version of sales. You're selling yourself in a relationship, right? That first date. You're selling
that
yourself
first
on it.
date. I
Yes,
remember
yes,
that.
yes. You're typically not the same person over the course of years. But the first time I
prayer.
really got into sales, I was very young, and I have an older brother.
Okay.
And I used to charge my older brother and his friends 25 cents to come play my Nintendo.
Nice.
And so
nice.
I seen that, and I said,
pretty
you know
good.
what, I might be able to do something with this. And that moved me into selling pagers and long distance, all things that folks may not even know what we're talking about right now.
That's good. Well,
Right,
right. You're telling your age. Pagers, isn't that the truth?
Pagers.
So all right. So in regard to sales and the gift of doing that, of course, there's a lot of gratification. So you did pretty well. In making that happen, and it moved you to what area of entrepreneurial stuff?
Yeah.
What did you do?
So I've been in sales, like technically, since I was in my freshman year of college.
Okay.
That was my first time really getting into sales. I worked for a cable company, and I was selling cable. What sales have been able to do is it allowed me to fund my passion.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily love sales. Might be a newsflash to people because I've been in sales for 25 years. But it enables me to do things. So the real estate investment, it allowed me to have the extra time to be able to do that. So now I'm able to go to my son's games and go to the school if I need to, and do things with my wife during the day because it provided me that flexibility.
Sure.
So that's the big thing for me.
So what made you want to put it down in print? What made you decide to write your book?
The sales blueprint.
Yes.
Blueprint.
Give it to us.
So I've been in sales, as I mentioned, for about 25 years. And I've worked for very large companies, and I built out a sales process that's very easy and methodical. And it's really around preparation. So I've taken that information and I put it all into a book. I was asked by my current company to come in and teach what I've done for this certain team to the entire organization. So I had the flexibility, so I decided to use my blueprint, which I call it, and I sprinkled in my favorite artist, which is Jay-Z's Blueprint, and I did a presentation. And I received so much positive feedback, I said, you know what, I might be able to do something with this.
You might be able to.
That was the start, and that was last year, January, when I presented that. And by the end of last year, the book was pretty much finished. Now it's just all the other stuff you have to deal with.
Okay. I'll tell you what, on the other side of the break, we'll talk about the process.
Sounds great.
So we'll be right back. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Right.
Hello, Mansfield. We're back with Eric and Mike, and let's continue our conversation.
Yeah, so let's talk a bit about the process of writing the book, publishing, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Share with us what that looked like.
Absolutely. For me, I was very blessed and fortunate. So my nephew is in the crowd, so he wrote a book a year before. And so he was able to share kind of some of the templates for what you're looking for to write a book. So at that particular point, now I just got to take all the information that's in my head and put it into the actual book.
Is that all?
Process. That's it.
Is that
But
all?
I think
You
for
make
me,
sound
it
easy.
wasn't as challenging because all of it is things that I know and I do already. I
Right.
think, and so the big challenge is after I'm done, now what? Right? And that's the challenging part is how do you get the book from all my work is in here to going to Amazon, and that took some outsourcing, right?
Right.
So actually, an interesting story. So I was at Dirty Jobs, which is this.
Okay.
Oh,
you know,
just
Yeah,
down,
absolutely,
our friend
right down the
Derek,
road.
Just a couple
and
doors
so I
down.
had to mention that. So thank you. So I was with my oldest son.
Okay.
Long story what we were doing, but the point is, I met a gentleman there that gave me some advice on how to outsource pieces of my book, the design and just the framework of it. So yeah, it's a process, but it was an outstanding process to be a part of, to watch that whole journey.
Well, and you're a salesman, so after that you had to sell the book.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
No, we understand the important part of the process itself.
yes.
So you say what winners do. Let's talk a little bit about what winners do in regard to this process. You have core principles that you highlight, that you talk about. Why don't you share that with the audience today?
Yeah, so my high school principal, going way back in the day, and a lot of things I have are from people that I've worked with and met in the past that have invested time in me. But he taught me about 3 of the 4 core principles, and I've got 4 pillars. So the first is faith. The second is family. Third is health. And 4th is career. And so those 4 pieces, if you think about your life, they're extremely important. And when health is off, other things become a factor. Other things are affected. When work is becoming a problem, other aspects are becoming an issue as well. They suffer.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of people that strive to be world-class sales leaders or world-class business leaders. But what if we were world-class fathers and mothers? What if we prioritized health? What if we took care of our families and not pulled away from them because we're so focused on our jobs?
Right. It's about balance.
Absolutely.
Balance.
Absolutely.
Right. Finding that balance between all of the aspects.
Yes.
And it starts at home.
Yes.
It does. It starts at home.
Starts at home. I tell people all the time that, you're the priest of your home.
Yes.
First. You're the leader at the house.
Absolutely.
First. Well, that's good. In regard to those principles, you have 3 categories of success.
Yeah.
Tell me about those.
So in sales, the concept is I can't know for sure if I'm going to be the best sales professional or the best team. However, I can be the most prepared person, the most prepared sales team. So that's a principle that I build on. So the 3 principles are, number 1 is the preparation.
Okay.
What are we doing? So again, remove sales. Think about an interview.
Right.
I'm going to an interview. The first thing I need to do is prepare. Could you show up at an interview and do okay? Sure. But is it the best version of yourself?
Good.
Right? So start with preparation. Then you got your execution. It's inside of the meeting, knowing what to do. And if you practice long enough, again, Kobe and Michael Jordan talk about this, is that they've practiced the shot so often that when they get to the game, it's second nature. That's right. And if it goes in or it doesn't go in, it doesn't matter because I've done the preparation.
Right.
Then the final piece is debriefing, the post meeting, which is extremely important. A lot of people leave that off. After an interview, after a conversation with your wife or your kids, the post to talk about what happened and what can we do better. So those are the 3 things that you have to be able to do to have success. And that's what winners do differently. They're disciplined and they consistently prepare for success.
It's a good word. It's a good word. It's a good way to start your day, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, also to start your career. We've got Mr. Eric Hamilton here. My hope is that you will take advantage of this book, and we want you to, as a matter of fact, is a QR code? Yes, we have the QR code up for you, the sales blueprint, what winners do differently. We're asking you to scan that, get this book as one to have in your library, and also one to take with you because these are outstanding principles. And I tell you what, we look forward to hearing of even greater things that you do because, man, you're in Mansfield, Texas, God's country.
Right?
Great things happen in Mansfield, Texas.
Absolutely.
So,
And Eric, what's
success.
going next? What are you going to do next?
Oh, this is exciting. So I just created Hamilton Sales Academy.
Okay.
And so one of the things I'm passionate about is coaching. I enjoy watching people grow and get better. So I've coached youth. I was a deacon at my church, so I coach young adults as well. Like I enjoy that piece. So now I want to take the experience that I have and I want to coach other sales professionals, other leaders, entrepreneurs, et cetera. I also want to do more speaking engagements and things like that. So what's next is we are rolling.
Well, wonderful. It was so great to have you here on the show. And
Don't forget
we're
to
going to take a
scan
little
that
break,
QR
and we'll be back
code.
with Ashley.
Yes.
Thanks
Y'all
for
have a
having me.
good one. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Good job.